Also have a special guest coming in all the way from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, Alex Shumaker, who emerged as a very young and talented drummer and has evolved into now a recording artist and playing not only for himself but two other bands. But let's get into our interview with Alex Shumaker here tonight, who has come all the way in from Groundhog Land, Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the show, Alex.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I would imagine it was just a busy time about a month ago.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Every single year, man. But, you know, it brings a lot of money to the town, and it is something that's very cool, you know, especially being from there. But
yeah, absolutely. Have you ever gone to it, or have you played out that way?
I've gone the last probably 3 or 4 years. Me and a lot of my friends go. But yeah, we actually ended up playing 4 shows this year.
Yeah.
With Saturday and Sunday. I did a show with my new band, Alex Shumaker and the Degenerates, outside. And then I had an acoustic show that night. And then the next day, my band Fuse, where I play drums in, we had a show, and then I ended up doing another acoustic gig. And that was down at the Borough, downtown, Big Bar in Punxsutawney. I played at the Moose on Saturday night. But the cool thing about the Borough is everybody goes down there, so it's always packed, you know. But it was a very long week, and I started to lose my voice, you know, just being out in the cold and everything. But it always works out very well.
So is the groundhog drunk on that day, or is it just everybody around the groundhog?
Probably. I don't know, man. I don't know.
He never looks very happy when they yank out.
No, I wouldn't either that early in the morning. I don't even want to get out of bed half the time, you know.
I don't know where I came across you, how long ago it even was, but you had a Facebook page, and I don't know, because I listened to music, must have popped up, and it was Alex Shumaker, drummer. I think
yes, sir.
And started to follow that. Let's talk a little bit about you and how long you've been doing this thing. Were you originally coming out as a drummer? How did you begin into the music side of things?
It kind of just came out of nowhere, in all honesty. I mean, I was 5 years old, and I mean, I had a lot of influences growing up too. You know, my parents listened to classic rock heavily, you know, so I'd be on the way to preschool, and there'd be a Journey record playing. There was a lot of Jackson Browne, actually, too, in my preschool days. Yeah. Like Foreigner and Bad Company, Boston, Styx, you know, bands like that. Yeah. But Journey was the biggest one. I went up to Walmart, and they had DVDs. You know, most kids would go look for toys, and I looked at toys occasionally, but it was either DVDs or CDs, you know, of bands. And so nowadays I like to go check out the vinyls too. But so I picked up this DVD of Journey. They were live in Manila with their new lead singer, well, at the time, Arnel Pineda from the Philippines, and that was his hometown show. So, you know, I obviously grew up listening to Steve Perry like everybody else did. But picked that up and kind of just fell in love with the whole thing. And then Dean Castronova, who was drumming for them, he's my biggest idol for drums and everything like that too, and musician-wise. But yeah, I took that home and watched that DVD for probably about an hour, and then I went and got an exercise ball and got my mom's kitchen utensils, broke all those, you know. And so my dad comes home from work, he cuts me coat hangers, and I asked him if he could buy me drumsticks. He goes, "There ain't no way I'm buying you drumsticks, man," you know. But and my parents were like, "Oh, this is probably just a phase," which at the time, you know, I didn't know what I wanted to do, you know, 5 years old. Like, I mean, here I am almost 20 years old, I still don't know what I want to do whenever it comes to the music now, you know. Yeah. But no, it worked out at that time though, because my grandparents saw that and they were like, you know, "You're coming up Saturday, so maybe we'll take you out to get a drum set." And so, you know, I got a little junior drum set, which I beat that to shreds within a few weeks. But I don't even know what happened to it. I think we sold it. But so it kind of just took off from there with like my obsession with it and, you know, my drive for it. You know, like I said, my parents thought I would kind of just, it would be a phase and I'd get out of it, you know. But then as it progressed, like, we started doing drum covers and doing drum videos. Like, that was my mom's idea, and we would just put them on there, and I actually had a lot of them that blew up, and there's some of them still to this day that they're getting airtime, you know, and they're from years and years ago. So, you know, like I said, there was quite a few that got a lot of airtime, and they still do. But so that happened, and then got into playing guitar as well. Played guitar for quite a while, and then didn't really like it as much, you know, because drums was kind of just like I would play for 6 hours a day. I'd come home from school, that's all I'd do, which I drove my parents crazy, but you know, I loved it. I did.
Yeah.
But like, and then I picked up guitar. It wasn't really till about a few years ago I stuck with the guitar, but I also do play keyboards too. You know, I did mess around with that back then. But back around COVID, we built a recording studio, a music studio, and that's where we put all my stuff at, and I spend a lot of time there now. But in the end now, got a lot of stuff going on too. So it's kind of crazy to think of where I've came, you know, to now. And I don't know how to explain it, you know, just how it's all came out of nowhere, you know.
You found the music bug is what you did.
Yes, sir, yeah.
That's cool. And to have evolved into guitar playing, I mean, you're going to spin a tune for us in the studio here, a couple of them. Did you take any formal training during that trek, or was this just kind of self-taught and noodling around?
I had been in the studio quite a few times before, but the process was a lot different. You know, you can go in and track 1 or 2 songs, and you're like, okay, it's not that bad. But I'm playing everything myself, so it's like, I got to play all the guitar. Well, my producer's playing the bass on the majority of the songs, and then I do have a few special guests. My guitar player, Brett Mulholland, in my band Fuse and the Degenerates, he's playing on 2 songs. And then I have a few other studio guys who are stepping in and doing some stuff that I just wasn't too good at yet. You know, I'm like, and they're like, hey man, you know, we'll hop on it. You know, that's the cool thing about being in the studio and having those musicians is everybody is like, you could do it for any song and do it for anybody, any instrument, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess the big eye opener for me was, you know, I thought I could go in there and just wing it. You know, it's a tough process, man. But I've already learned a lot, and I'm already kind of telling people that this album could be a lot better. But it's like now that I've gone through it, and I'm like, I could have did that so much better, you know. But you're going to be like that with everything.
It's a different environment for sure.
Yes,
I'm still not used to it.
yeah.
Live versus in studio.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Let's have you spin a song here. You're going to play a song called Feel Alive. Tell us about that.
So I had the riff for that song for quite a while, and I just like fell in love with it. I texted a few of my friends. This was probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like, what do you guys think of this riff? They're like, that's awesome, dude. You know, that's great. And I had different sets of lyrics for it, and I just couldn't come to standards on what I wanted for it. And then one night I was just sitting around in the studio and kind of already had half the song written. But, you know, there was like 3 or 4 more sets of lyrics for that, and I kind of just got sick of waiting around because, like, I always worry, especially whenever you're writing music, that, oh, I have a really good riff. Well, I better get it out there before somebody else, you know, hops on it. That's what I always worry about, you know? So that's how I was with that song. I'm like,
riff piracy.
I don't care how many sets of lyrics are in this song. I don't care if it's an instrumental. I just want that riff out.
Yeah.
But,
That's cool.
So, yeah, it just came about. In the end, I think it's probably one of my favorites. I knew I wanted to get that one out first and start out with a bang for this album, you know. But it's worked out well so far, though, which I'm really thankful for that song.
Well, we're visiting with Alex Shumaker in the studio tonight, and he's live with this song that he just described called Feel Alive on the Grassroots Show here on the Rock Station 97.7, presented by Shady Lady Productions.
Stay here much longer. Every day it gets harder, missing your face and your ways. Can't find any ways to cope. I might as well just pray and hope that you come running back someday. Though I ain't got much to say, call me when you're sober, baby, come over. I can't be alone much longer. Pull in my drive, I'll be out in 5. Baby, let me feel alive. Yeah, feel alive. My eyes see tomorrow, all I see is the past. If I could have you in my life, oh, I'd make our love last. The last few years been a struggle on me, the way we've been fighting. But I know you well, you came from hell. You'll do it to me one more time. Call me when you're sober, baby, come over. I can't be alone much longer. Pull in my drive, I'll be out in 5. I just wanna feel alive, yeah, feel alive. But call me when you're sober, I know you're hungover. Baby, let's do it one more time. Call me when you're sober, baby, come over. I can't be alone much longer. Pull in my drive, I'll be out in 5. Baby, let me feel alive, yeah, feel alive. Sometimes it feels like I ain't got nobody. It's the way of society. But when you smile at me, it takes me away from reality. Sweatshirt you left on my porch, it's never been washed, no, it's never been worn. I like to think back on how it once was. Endless nights, your invisible touch. Things ain't all are what they seem, 'cause it ain't like what it used to be. That one old picture from 3 years ago, it still lays low, yet still untold. Parents still call me 3 days a week. They really care, yeah, they still love me. Sometimes they're harder than most. Living so full, yet I still feel broke. Oh, why can't you just come back to me? 'Cause it ain't like what it used to be. But all this time that we've been apart, I don't miss you, yet I wanna restart. Still on speed dial in my phone. I bet you're breaking hearts away from home. I'll spend another night alone.
Alex Shumaker in the studio tonight, and we just heard 2 songs that Alex has just done here live for us in the studio. And that song, Ain't What It Used to Be, you said is going to be dropped as a single probably here in April, huh?
Yes, sir, yeah. Probably April 10th, I'm assuming around that time, yeah.
Give us a little background to the song.
That was kind of just like an out-of-nowhere song for me. Sitting in the studio yet again and was messing around with that riff, and lyrics just kind of came to me a little bit, out of nowhere. It probably took me about 20 to 30 minutes to write. And then my dad walked in, and I was like, hey, listen to this. He goes, that's pretty good. That's really good. So I sent it to a few buddies of mine. I sent it to my old producer, and he said, wow, man. He said, that's pretty nice. I mean, it's different. You got to have different types of tunes. That's almost like a Zach Bryan type feel, for that one. That's kind of what I wanted to go towards. But, I want to have more rockin' songs, but, like, if it hits you in the heart whenever you first write it, why not put it out? So
Sure, yeah. So you said you're recording. Where have you been recording these particular things?
I've been recording with a friend of mine, Caleb Harmon, at Shed Sound Studios in Clarion, Pennsylvania. I've been through a few studios before. Like a few years ago, my old drum teacher, Matt Muckle, he has a studio called Hollywood Studios. It was Matt Vaughn's studio, excuse me, but Muckle was always there with Matt Vaughn. So I did those first two songs back in 2022. Still very good friends with both guys. I talk to Matt Muckle every week, And then I had Danny Stagg from the band Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
He came in and sat in on a song, which was very cool. And both songs actually played the guitar. So that was really my first experience, and they gave me a good idea of what it was really going to be like.
Yeah.
And then I did another song a year later with a friend of mine, small town outside of Punxsutawney called Rossiter. My buddy Peyton Kerr, we did a song, kind of like a Morgan Wallen rap song type vibe, It was called In My Head. And then the next year, my buddy Ryan Reed, which is, he's getting back into it now, we did a song together. It's called These Nights, and I actually have some recordings at his place. So, we're looking to get back this summer. And that's the cool thing, too, especially with the guy I'm with now. There's so many people that he's turned me on to. And he even said, too, certain places, like, you're not tied down to me, man. He's like, you can go work anywhere you want. And I said, I love that. I don't want to be tied down to one place. So just the relationships I've built with him and within that studio, and then even in the past, too, with the other guys, it's been great.
Yeah. You said that you play a good bit of the music, the instruments. Is that right?
Pretty much everything, yeah, besides bass. Like I said, I had a few guys sit in, like my guitar player, Brett Mulholland. He did 2 songs.
Yeah.
And then another buddy of mine, Will Northy, on Ain't What It Used to Be, he did the slide guitar.
Okay.
So I always give credit where it's due, man. If I'm going to tell you, if I don't play something, I'll be 100% about it,
Yeah.
But and then Caleb, my producer, he played bass on a majority of the songs.
Okay. That's cool. Let's kind of circle back around and mention, you talked about, diving into drums at a young age. You're pretty proficient on the guitar that we just saw. Have you taken any formal lessons on that, or has it been just kind of pick it up as you go?
I started taking drum lessons whenever I was 6. And my drum teacher, Brian, at the time, he was like, he didn't really want to take anybody that young. And then I can't even remember what happened. I think I was just playing around the one day. He goes, all right, I'll take him, But the cool thing about Brian is, which I'll get back into everything in a minute too, but the cool thing about Brian is his son, Bryce, is my drummer in Alex Shumaker and the Degenerates. So him and I have been really good friends for years. And so, like, that first show was kind of like, it was sweet. Like, it was just like an emotional moment, especially for Brian too. But Bryce is in the Marine Reserves, and so this show, we have a show coming up where we're opening up for Creed Fisher and Jackal. Bryce can't make that, so Brian, my old drum teacher, he's going to play that show, which is awesome.
That is really cool.
But so after a while, stuff kind of got, I got busy and everything. So did he. He ended up moving away, so we kind of just got out of that. But I took some lessons with Matt Muckle from Pittsburgh area, really good guy. We'll go to his house. He still sends me stuff. He's like, you got to learn this, man. You got to learn how to do that. But that was really cool. And then guitar-wise, there was a few guys earlier on, but Kenny Murdoch, I was with him for quite a while. I was with him in a few bands. And then Matt Bernatti, I can never say his name right. He's a Pittsburgh area guy, but he's played with Fall Cat for a very long time. So he gave me a few lessons too. But yeah, I the whole thing with guitar recently too. I mean, I learn a bunch of new stuff every day on drums. Drums, everything else, guitar, piano. But if it wouldn't be for those guys, I wouldn't have got kick-started, where I was going. But I have learned a lot on my own, but it's been within from what they have taught me, which is always good.
That's cool. Visiting with Alex Shumaker tonight. You have a couple of other bands that you are involved in that keeps you busy, and a band called Fuse.
Yes,
I
sir.
understand does some classic rock angles, right?
Yeah, 70s and 80s, and we do a little bit of 90s. That band's been around for a very long time. I played with them for the first time when I was like 7 years old.
Wow.
And so, like within a few years ago, I would get calls very frequently to fill in, and I would be busy and be doing other stuff. And then around like December of 2023 is whenever I took it on, and I went in. So I've been in the band for 2.5 years now, almost. But yeah, those guys are great. I met my guitar player that's also in my other band, the Degenerates, Brett Mulholland, and we do a bunch of acoustic shows together. Great kid, he's my age, and he could do stuff on the guitar that, you close your eyes, it reminds you of a lot of other bigger guitar players. But Nick and Rick are good guys too. Nick George, the lead singer, and then Rick Hartman, the bass player. So we've done a lot. It's been a very fun time, and we've gotten to do some pretty cool things in the past, but I enjoy it, though. It's always been good with them.
How long have they been around?
Probably about 30-some years.
I was going to say, because Fuse, all right. Yeah, that was Rick Nielsen and Tom Peterson's original band,
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
Before
maybe
Cheap
there's
Trick.
a connection here.
Oh, wow, okay.
Name your band Fuse. Form fame and fortune yet to come.
Yeah, they had a bunch of different members throughout the years.
Yeah, was any of them named Rick Nielsen? And Tom?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to ask. Maybe. I don't
They're
know.
going back, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. And now tell us about the Degenerates. Is that more of a is this the band that you do kind of a mishmash of stuff? Country and rock?
Well, yeah, so we kind of wanted to put that together. I'll name a few of the guys we do. Like we do some Hardy, Co Wetzel, Gavin Adcock, Treaty Oak Revival. So we're doing the newer country stuff, but we're putting our own gist on it, which whenever we started out doing that, we're like, we want to stay as true to the record as we possibly can, but like we want to put our own side into it, But yes, we did do a few mashups. Cody Parks and the Dirty South, they're a big up and coming band. They have quite a few songs. They do a cover of, they call it Thundercast 69, but it's White Zombie, Thunder Kiss mixed with Folsom Prison by Johnny Cash.
Wow.
And then there's another one's Grundy County Cowboys, Grundy County Auction, and Cowboys from Hell by Pantera. Seminole Wind, also by John Anderson. They do that. So, like I was telling you guys before, like we just, like I said, we want to do our own thing, but we're putting 80s guitars into country music and making it our own in a way, which
Pretty cool.
like I said, I didn't know how a lot of people were going to feel about it, but I guess just come out and see if you like it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. As far as where people can find you, tell us about your socials and where people can follow along as you're dropping these singles. And is this intended to be an album eventually, or will you just stay the single route? Because a lot of acts are doing that nowadays.
I do have this album coming out. I've been saying for quite a few years I was going to put one out, but I just kind of got away from it. I mean, probably about actually 6 years ago now, around COVID, like I was saying that I was going to put one out, and then I just never did. I was kind of heavily against albums before, just because in today's day and age, I just really don't feel like music sells the same that it used to in certain aspects. I mean, nobody really goes out and buys albums anymore, which there's a select few now, Luke Combs just dropped one, it's already #1, but he's Luke Combs.
Right.
So it's like, especially starting out, you're kind of like, I just want to give people something because I feel like I've made them wait for so long. But I think I might stick with the single route for a little bit. I haven't figured it out. I want to do a few different like concept albums, because I have so many roots that it's like everywhere, every genre, so maybe do a yacht rock album in the future. I want to do a cover album of some sort, maybe do an 80s album, 80s pop, new wave or rock, something like that. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. That's something for the future to figure out.
And where do we find you?
I do have some socials. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I do have a Snapchat page if anybody has Snapchat. But I'm online. I think it's Alex Shumaker Drummer, AlexShoeDrums.com or something like that. I don't know.
I'm looking at just AlexShoemaker.com.
There we go. Thank you. I should have had you fact check that. See, that's a shame. I don't even know my own page.
You only get the truth here on the Grassroots.
Well, there you go. But yeah, there is on that page. There's everything. There's a link to my Spotify and iTunes and everything like that. I'm on every streaming service you could listen to. Right. So.
And tickets available for your opening
sir.
for Creed Fisher and Jackal. That's up at the Raindrop, right?
Yes, yeah, that'll be great too because, well, I didn't mention before, but I was about 10 years old and I had gotten a call one night and it was some guy saying, hey, they want you to play with Jackal. We want to set this up at Ohio Bike Week. So this was like months before. We didn't hear anything until like Tuesday night. The show was on a Thursday or Friday. So it rolls around on that Tuesday night. He's like, hey, they want you. You got to come to Sandusky. You know, we show up. It's a whole entire day process. I'm like, oh, this is really happening. So anyway, I ended up doing that. You know, all the guys from Jackal were awesome. You know, I was 10, and Jesse James Dupree, he's a trip, man. He's a good guy. And so we did that, and here we are 10 years later, almost to the day that I opened up with them. And I played with them. Now we're opening up for them, excuse me.
Yeah.
So I haven't really pitched it to them yet. I mean, I've caught up with Jesse the last few times I've seen him. And, you know, it's almost like, it's very cool to me because, like, the way we were talking, it's like we had been buddies for 30 years, you know.
Yeah.
But I want to try and put it together where we can maybe do, you know, mashup of, you know, the 10-year anniversary. We could redo that, you know.
That's pretty cool.
But... So, yeah, we got the bill for that show, and I'm really excited because the people at the Raindrop, they're excellent people, and they get a lot of acts up there. And
they do.
So they treat us very well. So I'm really looking forward to that show.
Alex Shumaker, Shumaker. Check him out, and you can follow along other shows he'll be and the music that is coming. And we're going to do Can't Help a Heartbreak, a recorded piece along with Pedal to the Metal. Give us a little intro of those songs for us.
Can't Help a Heartbreak I wrote pretty quickly, too. I actually had the lyrics wrote before the riff. You know, a lot of people ask, you know, how do you write songs? I don't know. It just kind of comes out of nowhere. Like, I mean, me being a drummer and everything and having a pretty good rhythm, it's like I could start out with a drum beat, but, you know, then I have a riff and whatever comes first, I guess. But that was kind of a song that just came together out of nowhere. And, but it was in pieces, though. You know, I would come back to it from time to time again. But it's kind of one of my more mainstream songs, you know. But I really like it, though. The recording came out really good, too. But so, yeah, that one was something that and that one is really a big one that I can't wait to get out for everybody to hear.
And then tell us about Pedal to the Metal.
Pedal to the Metal, I wrote with a friend of mine, Michael James from Nashville. He lives in Nashville. He's from Long Island. So the funny story about this is he's like, you know, we need to write a country song, man, and like a country song. But he's like, you know, I kind of grew up on the beach a little bit, but like I kind of have ideas from whenever I've been down your way, like I understand. And so we did a Skype lesson. I've done a lot of Skype lessons. So we did a Skype one day. And, yeah, it just kind of came together. And I kind of reworked it around, you know, he's been super busy. He was out on tour. I can't remember who he opened up with, but, he was going from city to city for probably 3 or 4 months. And so he said, you know, we're going to have to check back on it. But, it was supposed to be, he was going to feature on it. You know, we were going to do one together. But next time I head back down to Nashville, we're going to do one together down there. But, yeah, it turned out really well. It is a personal favorite of mine, too. Just really like the sound of the recording. You know, it's a really kicky-in-the-face type of track. So I really like that.
Cool. Coming in from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, we appreciate the visit. Alex Shumaker, wish you the best of luck, and thanks for coming in and playing live in the studio.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. Been a great time.
AlexShoemaker.com. Here we go. We've got a couple of songs. Can't Help a Heartbreak and Pedal to the Metal. It's the Grassroots Show tonight on the Rock Station 97.7, presented by Shady Lady Productions.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. we're getting stoned, like a book that I've read. Yeah, sometimes a thrill, but the same old thing. Couldn't help Friday night by coming in at 2 a.m. Wonder when I'll see you again, but I know that you're with him. Can't help the heartbreak. It's like a freight train just running through your brain. Can't stop the thunder, can't stop the rain. One thing's for sure, you can't help the heartbreak. I've tried many things to help me get by. Whiskey neat and some neon lights, most things lead to a fight. A dozen pills on the floor, holes all through my bedroom door. I know you still think of me, but most times you're just obscene. Can't help the heartbreak. I'm sitting here missing you, but you miss the cue of hard times I'm going through. Yeah, one thing for sure, you can't help the heartbreak. Care about the flirt, but not enough of the hurt. And I'm here to tell you, one for sure is certain. Can't help the heartbreak. One day a thing makes a man go insane. Can't stop the thunder, can't stop the rain. Yeah, one thing for sure. Rusted trucks getting stuck in the mud, living like it's our last day alive. We're gonna pedal to the metal all night. Bumping George Strait on the radio, quoting our favorite TV shows. Nothing going on downtown, so we're kicking it way on out. Beer in one hand, camera in the other. We're all out just pissing off our mothers. That's okay, yeah, because we got it straight. I got the pedal to the metal, tires going round. Yeah, we're having us a time through the country sound. Got a beat up on the dash where the window's down. I got the pedal to the metal all night. It's all we know being where we're from, raising hell and kicking up dust. shooting out every red stop sign. Yeah, we're rolling beneath the pines. I got the pedal to the metal, tires going round. Yeah, we're having us a time to the country sound. Got our feet up on the dash where the windows down. I got the pedal to the metal all night. Not worried about tomorrow. Got the good Lord to follow. Taking time to enjoy this life. We're going pedal to the metal all night. Yeah, we're never worried about the cops. We ain't gonna stop. Those four old wheels are doing their job.